I moved to Rome as an international student, totally blind to some of the living expenses. So if you're considering making that move, stay with me. In this video, I am going to be telling you what it takes to survive the financial aspects of living as an international student in the city of Rome. So yes, it's all about expenses. It's all about costs that you are going to incur as an immigrant student in Rome. Let's go through this video together to see some of the estimates of the cost that you are going to be incurring per month. Note that cities differ. Rome, Milan are way bigger cities, and so they are more expensive compared to other less populated and other less sought after locations by tourists. You understand that when a location is sought after by tourists, it is going to be more expensive. Like the cost of living in that place is obviously going to be more expensive than the cost of living in other places. So in this video, I'm going to take you through an estimate of the cost of housing for a student, average, the cost of transportation, and the cost of feeding, because I think that those are the main costs that you're going to have to pay regularly if you're going to live in Rome as an immigrant student. So first, let us talk about housing. Before we go to the cost, I would love to paint a picture of what the housing situation for students generally is like in Rome. So generally we have apartments, shared apartments, and then each student has, an average student is expected to rent a room in that apartment. So it's very likely that in your room you're going to be part of an apartment where you have some other students, 2 or 3 other students that live in the other rooms, and then there is a shared space where you all live. I know that this was a shock for me personally, because it's not like that where I come from, and I was just so not used to this type of living conditions. It took me quite a while to get comfortable, because it's quite strange to live in a house with people that you do not know, and you share spaces with these people. So this was new to me, and if you're making that move, don't be shocked when you move into it. That is what the living situation is like. Now, concerning the cost, on average inside the city of Rome, you would get a room in an apartment. You will get a single room in an apartment on average between 400, a comfortable one between 400 and 500 euros per month. Okay, this may include or may not include utilities. Note that you can get cheaper rooms. 250 euros normally would be a shared space where in the room you have access just to the bed, and another person has another bed, so that you understand that it is much less comfortable than the 500 euros room. But that is the average cost at which you can get a room per month in Rome. Now, there are always other options. Since the transportation system is all right, you could always consider going further to the suburban areas to get a room, and at cheaper prices and at better qualities, so that you can then basically travel to your university or to your campus each day that you need to be at your campus. So these are the options that you have that are available to you in Rome as a student. So mostly as an international student, you are going to have a hard time finding that sort of a room. Okay, you're going to have a hard time finding an empty room. So rooms to let are generally, there is a housing problem. So rooms to let are generally rare to find, and when you find them, this is what it's going to cost. Usually there is like a caution fee that you have to, first you make a down payment for that, just caution as it is called, just in case you have any unpaid bills or you break something. So it's usually like a month, and voila. Okay, secondly, we have the transportation. I would say that transportation in Rome is relatively cheaper compared to other cities in Europe. So for me, in the city of Rome, I usually get like a bus ticket throughout the month, and that usually costs like 35 euros. So 35 euros is like a subscription. You have a card, and then you can use the transportation system throughout that month. That means you can use the subway, the metro, you can use the buses within the jurisdiction for which you subscribe. So, and that as a student, that is going to be just all that you need to move around the city. So 35 euros per month and you are good to go. There are options of subscribing per year and it comes back cheaper, and also options of getting like a single day ticket or different options, but generally that is what the pricing looks like. So per month, that the expenses for transportation may be more or less 35 euros. So that is what you're going to spend on transportation as a student if you have no business going out of the town too often. Now, another thing that you should consider that is very essential is your feeding. So generally, I find that it is less expensive to cook your own food. So I usually cook my own food, and I store it. I don't need to eat fresh food every day. Okay, because the living situation doesn't really permit that, and as a student you may not have the time to make yourself fresh food every day. So I can cook and store for like 2-3 days, and then I can always microwave and eat. This is what works for me. It may not be healthy enough for you, your system might not be comfortable with that, so you might do something else. But in a week, what I spend on groceries would be, on average, if it goes too expensive, it's like 50 euros per week. So that is the amount that I spend. I try to keep it on a low, because usually if you are on a student budget, you cannot afford to live lavishly, or you cannot afford to live extravagantly, and also you need to always put something aside for, I don't know, I mean, if something goes wrong. There's some things that are more expensive than others, really. So it really depends on what you eat. Food in Italy is more affordable, and I appreciate the fact that there is fresh food. If you go to the markets, you can always get fresh food. Maybe not in the supermarkets themselves, but there are always like these farm markets where you can always get fresher products, fresher fruits, fresher meat, fresh vegetables, and all those type of things. Now let's talk about other utilities like electricity, gas, and telephone bills. So all those put together, personally, I'll say the average that I spend on electricity and gas per month is about 50-55 euros. So that is what I spend per month on electricity and gas. And usually it's not like that bill comes to you alone. It's for the apartment, and then you split it to the number of places, the appropriate number of places. So that is generally how it works. And for electricity bills, you have companies, service providers for that, and you can always get bundles that are way more than enough for a month. You can get them at relatively affordable prices. 10 euros, you can get a bundle, an internet connection bundle that can last you for a month, and even, yeah. So that is it about bills and gas and electricity, gas, and then also telephone bills. Okay, other bills that you should consider as an immigrant, because if you just move to a place and you've not yet settled, you're going to have to sort out yourself before you get to find out what you have to do, the administrative processes that you have to go through before you start having the some advantages that are available to you at the place. You first need to sort yourself before that time comes. So you may also want to consider things around money for healthcare, just in case you don't feel too well. You consider money for that. It is subsidized in some ways when you're already settled and you've gotten the proper documentation and all that, but you need to understand that bureaucracy in Italy is a total disaster. So it usually takes you like a whole lot of time, and it is frustrating, and immigrants generally find this very, very frustrating. So you should take that into consideration. But usually health consultations, general health consultations would cost you, I don't know, maybe 25-30 euros. You could do that for a general health consultation, and I cannot really say much for the treatments and all that, because all that really, really varies. It depends on your particular situation and what you're looking for, and who you are consulting, and in what institution what healthcare center you are consulting. So all of that varies. You should consider all of that. For clothing, you can always find shops that have relatively affordable clothing. So my advice is always to search for these, go to the mall, move around as much as you can. If you are new, just to discover the places that are relatively more affordable than others, and know the places where you can always go to shop, because you're going to need to shop for like different seasons. You're going to need to shop for winter, you're going to need to shop for summer and all that. So my advice is keep it on the low, ask around, discover the shops that are relatively affordable if you're on a student budget, and go to those shops. Another thing is about haircuts and hairdos. For example, I did this by myself. If you know how to do these little cute hairstyles by yourself, if you've got short hair like myself, and you've got the texture of hair for Africans is a bit different. Black people in general is different and needs much more effort than other textures of hair. So if you know what to do, to your hair every now and then, you can learn to do it by yourself. This saves you a lot of money, because if you try to go to a professional hairdressing salon and do like a braids on your hair, you may end up using like 150 euros, and for a student budget that is a bit much, given that you are not going to stay for so long with that hairstyle and you're going to need to change it often. So it really helps to know how to do a few things with your own hair. That to me has been a hack that has helped me save quite some euros. So I would advise you to totally consider that. And for haircuts as well, haircuts, they are not as expensive as the ladies' hairstyles and all that for men, but of course that still costs you. And if you, of course, you can do it by yourself, always do it by yourself. It helps you put aside a few funds for other purposes. And yes, there is always a possibility of trying to earn a few more euros, but there's a clause to this. I want to add that there's a clause to this, because if you are an immigrant and you have not learned how to speak Italian, for example, it's going to be very difficult for you to find a student job. But if you do find a student job, depending on what you can find, I would say on average, if you're working per month, you may be able to earn maybe a bit over 1,000, like 1,300, 1,200, something in that range. If you get a decent average student job, you can be able to earn that. But as an immigrant, you need to understand that you need time to assimilate, you will need time to learn the language, you need time to get comfortable, and in that time you are going to have expenses. So these are considerations to make before you land in Rome, and then everything takes you by surprise and you're totally overwhelmed and confused. That was it for giving you an idea of what your expenses will look like if you are an immigrant student living in Rome, or if you just got admission and you're preparing to pack your bags and move here. These are some of the things that you should be aware of before you get to this place. I'm not sure if I touched every aspect of it, but if I forgot some aspects, do let me know in the comments so that I make a complimentary video to complete the aspects that I might have left out. By the way, if you're new here, hi, I'm Binta. I am a civil engineer, originally Cameroonian, and currently doing my PhD in transport infrastructures in Rome, in Italy. In this channel, I share lessons that I learned in my early adulthood years around career, around relationships, around profession, around academic life. So if this sounds like something that you would love to hear, stay tuned, because there's a lot more to come. And that is it for today's video, guys. Until next time, bye.